some syrups and he was like, hey, I'll get back. If you guys have seen the last video, we went over to Kel's house to deck the head flange of the turbo manifold so we can make today's video, which is installing the manifold, the turbo, and then doing all the charge pipe, down pipe, and all that good jazz to button up Joe's car in hopes of turning it on for the first time with the B18C1. So Kel is our local fabricator, like legitimate local fabricator. If you guys are in the Bay Area, I'll put his little Instagram in the description below. DSR X Kelly Built. If you guys are looking for any fab work, be sure to hit him up. But he let me use his belt sander to deck the head flange of this manifold because it was super warped, like really warped in the middle. And you can see that I didn't get it all the way, but this is okay because as long as every bolt hole has been touched, that means it'll bolt flush, right? And this right here is just a low spot, which we're not worried about because every part that has been touched is going to be sealed, especially with the gasket that we're going to use on here. So in today's video, we're going to be installing the manifold, the turbo, the wastegate. We're going to be fabricating the downpipe, the dump tube. Actually, I don't even have the dump tube here, but that's like the least of my worries because we're not in boost. We're not going to be dumping, but I do have the dump tube in the storage. We're going to be doing the intercooler piping. I mentioned in the last video that we're not going to be able to go backdoor here. We're going to route it around, up and over to the turbo. That side is going to stay the same. So with that being said, let's get started. So with this turbo, it's going to clock snail forward towards the intercooler. I just realized now too that this long bolt is going to be hella hard to get into, so I'm going to have to take off the cartridge to put that bolt in. Now we can get to that bolt. Oh man, this thing doesn't even fit. It's got a big ass lip on here. I'm going to cut that down. That's weird. I don't have feelings in my hand, remember? So guys, I am swapping everything over to the new turbo, right? We're not using the master power that came out of his car before. We're swapping manifold, turbo to this setup right here. This is a spoolin A-spec manifold, super OG. He built this like 12 years ago. Kind of stayed in the loophole of friends and I ended up with it. So we're running this with Paco's O turbo. This is a Precision 4431E right there, and I was looking it up online. And right here it says Precision Turbo Entry Level Turbocharger, good for 565, right? And this turbo was rebuilt by Turbo Lab America like 2016, you said? Yeah, 16. So this turbo used to belong to Paco, which used to belong to Joe, and Joe also used to work with him, so he just hit him up, he confirmed it, and we're going to be using this for Joe's setup. So we're trying to make about 350 here on this car with the piston rod setup. This turbo is going to suit it well. It spooled it really nice. Previously in Paco's car, it made I think 417 or 427, and then Paco now has an upgraded turbo. So this is going to Joe's car. This is good for 400 horsepower. We're going to keep this for a different car if we ever decide to use it. We'll have this sitting around. So right now I just got to switch the fitting over here for the feed over there, the wastegate, and then we can permanently bolt this guy into the car. On a side note, Tyga's taking off his alternator so we can swap out the pulley, because if you guys remember when we installed it, we didn't have our impact to take off the pulley from the alternator and install the K-tune unit. So he's doing that now. We're going to swap that out. And when this car is all said and done, I'm not sure if it's going to be after the tune or before the tune, but we're going to definitely take this car out somewhere and we're going to do like an overview of the car, everything we did to put the K into the car, and you know, all the modification we had to do along the way. So if you guys want to stick around for that, be sure to hit the subscribe button now. But damn, boy cleaned this car and this thing is starting to look really sharp on the regas. Lucky for this guy, the freaking pulley actually clears the frame rail, so we can just shoot it right there instead of taking off the alternator. So that just makes it a lot easier for us. Out with the old, in with the new. You're gonna have to like hold that pulley too and you shoot it back in, so that way it doesn't spin all crazy. Oh, definitely flat now. Before, you can see I bulging out all crazy because it wasn't flat before. You guys know how I moved my car the other day? Literally drive-by-wire. And a freaking wire, freaking string, look at this, goes straight to my pedal. And it worked, you know? Inspired by Jesse from Fast and Furious, but no calipers, no rotors. I was able to go all the way down and it wouldn't stop, made a U-turn and came all the way back to park it right here.
That's crazy.
Once again, shout out to Kel because he gave me a bunch of random bends to make this downpipe 2.5 inch. Submit Racing or Vibrant Performance should sponsor me or something because I don't have any more flanges and I'm tired of grinding down old flanges to reuse. And guys, after grinding this for about 30 plus minutes, my grinder finally died. Plugged in, dead. And like I told you guys before, I like to use my tools to the end of days. And unfortunately, today is the end of that grinder. But if you guys also remembered, Kat and Joe got me a grinder as a gift a little while back. And finally, we can put it to use. This guy's for real.
Order a Happy Meal for himself.
Where Jesus at? This was for real. You really ordered Happy Meal?
He did order Happy with apples, bro.
With apples?
Apple slices. And now y'all can have none. Hey, look at Joe's. Look at Joe's.
Keto, bro. Don't judge me. That shit's delicious.
But
I don't know about you guys, but look at Lucy. She's sleeping with her face down.
Hey, wake on me. I forgot what you wanted to drink, and then he remembered. Oh.
Okay guys, so I'm just going through a couple bends here to figure out what I'm gonna need for the downpipe. I may have to rob the back half of this one right here because I don't have a flex pipe and it already has the O2 and the flange for the current exhaust system. We are keeping it 2.5. And again, shout out to Kel for these bends. Now I did have this guy brand spanking new. I just opened the packaging off of it, and originally I was going to do that, you know, straight down and then use this guy to go under the oil pan, but it has a weird angle, so I'm going to use this little guy right here coming off the turbo, which has an angle on it already. And then this pipe also has an angle on it. Sorry, it's kind of hard to hold this with one hand, but it's going to come off like that. This is going to point backwards like so, and then I'm going to have to trim this a little bit to go under the pan, which I am going to be using this guy right here, but I'm going to cut the V-band off, right? So it's going to go under the pan, flex, and then flange. I don't know how I'm going to weld it yet because I don't have any gas, but we'll figure something out. Alrighty guys, so after a little while we got a downpipe kind of fitted up. So right here we have this 90 tacked onto the flange on 3 sides. We have this bend right here going under the pan, tacked in 3 spots, and then this guy right here is the back half of the old downpipe. So what I did was I just kind of slipped it over. You can see there's no weld on it, right? And I measured it, cut once, and it just seems to slip into place. I just broke the damn tack welds, but it lines up perfectly and connected to the exhaust. So now I'm going to mark it, take it out, take it to the bench, and weld it up so we can move on to the next thing. What's the start? What's the difference between starter and the first one? What's the difference between starter and the when you go? You just put your VIN code?
I know the way they do it. I don't know how they do it.
Bruh, I am running on like 300 on my tank, but not shabby. Not shabby for dipping a million times. Man guys, after a long while, we have the downpipe made up. Got some nice weld going on right there, right? We got some alright welds over here. We got some nice golden ones over here. And this should bolt right up to the exhaust. So this right here, I'm gonna bolt it in one more time, and it's gonna stay in place. Bolt the wastegate in place. I don't have the dump tube here. So guys, I am moving on to the return line, and it is really close. So I have a 90, I mean I got a couple 90s in there, a couple straights, and I have only one 45-10 line. So I'm gonna show you guys underneath real quick the space that I am working with. So right up here we have the return off the turbo. Right now it's straight up and down, really close to the traction bar. Cartridge is loose for me to kind of move it around, and the distance from this guy before it touches this guy is like an inch. So my issue is I'm afraid that the line is going to be coming down before going back up into the pan. And if I clock it like, let's say if I clock this turbo, I mean the cartridge all the way up, I can do like a 90 down, 90 to a 90 or 90 to a 45. It's hard to say, but this is why it's important for me to have a whole bunch of different angles of fittings so I can mix and match and see which one will work. So I'm gonna brainstorm this real quick and see what we come up with. The one on the right is off my Precision 5858. The left is Joe's, and I'm hoping that the height difference here is gonna give me some more space. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this one up real quick, and hopefully we have a solution. That may be a solution right there. It actually sits in line with each other. I don't know if you guys can see that. The hose that I'm using, it's pretty flexible. This guy right here, pretty flexible. I'm sure I can make that work. And it's away from the traction bar, so that's good. Everything's close. I didn't realize how close that was, but it's also really close. So hopefully we won't have any issues with that. This was a little tricky to get on, but had to loosen up the turbo, clock it, bolt it in, clock it back, tighten it down, and that's our return line. All right, off the floor we go. All right, guys, so we've lost a lot of daylight here. Now, I finished the car a little while ago, but just been hanging out with the homies over here, all these guys. So right now, I'm about to turn the car on, or first I'm gonna crank the engine. We already got all the fluids in there. Got all the charge pipe done right here. Goes around over here, tucked up really close against the frame, just like that side. So hopefully we don't have to cut too much of the bumper, right? And I buttoned up everything. Radiator, fan, hoses, batteries back into place, transmission fluid, oil, turbo is clocked, everything is bolted down there. I still didn't get the wastegate dump tube, but that's not a big deal. We're not gonna be in the boost. But other than that, we're gonna try to crank it over without the injectors. It's unplugged, and I'm gonna disconnect the Honda kit to the ECU so we don't have spark. Prime it a few times, get some oil cycling through this, and then we're gonna try to turn it on. Guys, so I appreciate y'all sending me these like gasket kits and stuff, because this comes in clutch for times like this. So this gasket right here, this is what we were running on Joe's manifold, and this giant hole right here was kind of like seeping out of the throttle body at the very bottom over here, and that was causing the high idle. So if you look at this guy, right, we don't have that. So hopefully we don't leak with this one and put everything back together, get the car to turn on, get it a little bit down on the idle. I kind of broke a shift linkage too. If you look at it, it sits way down there. But let's go. The vibration is real. Holy moly. Hey Joe, your light doesn't work. Wow, guys, sounds freaking awesome. Joe's car is back in action. And it's 9:26, guys, and I'm pretty much wrapped up with Joe's car for tonight. Tomorrow I'm just gonna button up like the cooling system, the bumper and all that. I don't have to show you guys that, but before we close this video out, got all the homies here still from earlier, and I'm actually tapping an oil pan right here for him real quick, because that one supposedly is different, right? So if you guys know, leave me a comment down below and let me know if an H22 oil pan is the same or different from an H23, because this didn't fit at all on his setup. So I'm putting a bung on it right now, and then we'll cap this video out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drill this, weld it on the inside, because it's more convenient to fit the torch on the back side than it is on the front side, like this one right here, right? And give it some nice fresh paint, and we'll be done with that. So we got a drill bit. I was using a step drill bit from Harbor Freight, and got to cut it out for the vibrant fitting, because a vibrant fitting has this little like new design right here, and it's supposed to help with the flow of oil coming out of it. So here you can see the oil pan hole's pretty damn big, and this vibrant fitting goes on super flush. Check that out. But I'm gonna weld it on the inside, so it's gonna look good over here. Got the bung all welded up. I kind of ran my flashlight through this with my phone to make sure there was no pinholes. I didn't run water through it. I didn't see anything seeping through, so it should be fine. And that means this is the end of the video. So it is 10:33 right now, guys. Some of the homies already left. They're gone. Got Jesus here. We got Paco here. And like I said, made some major progress on Joe's car today. It sounds good, but tomorrow I'm gonna do the cooling system. I'm gonna cycle the fan, the engine oil, and probably change it out. It didn't go through machine work. It just went through bearing change. But then again, you don't know if there's going to be any bearing still left inside the engine. So I'm gonna do an oil change, letting the car warm up a couple of times, drive around the block, make sure everything is good. But I'm gonna take care of all that tomorrow. Then I'm probably gonna take a break because I do want to start cleaning the garage out again. It's starting to compile with a lot of just a lot of stuff that's kind of been moving, shifting, brought over and stuff like that. But now that Joe's car is done, we can focus a little bit more here, or in this case I'm gonna focus on it. Joe's car is practically done, and I'm super pumped. He's super pumped. He went home with a smile on his face. But I am gonna close the video out right here, guys. Remember, progress is better than no progress. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for some EG content, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.